Yeah, January, that might be a good month
Hi,
to
Mrs.
do it, to
Mallers.
kick
How
off
are
the new season. Or should we try to squeeze it in before the end of the year? I
Well,
think
it depends on
it
what
would
you
be
wanna
bad
do.
timing.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a dinner, if it's a Saturday, more, you know, I guess it
Yeah,
depends
but
on
it's
how you
off by
wanna
Yeah,
5 minutes.
it's actually 7:30 on the,
Yeah. It is, it's
Okay.
7:30.
Yeah. Okay, everyone. I'd like to call our city council meeting to order and ask everyone to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The roll, please.
Kenny,
Here.
Clistic,
Here.
Belzak,
Here.
Belkey,
here.
Marquez,
Here.
McIver,
Here.
Shower,
Here.
7 present.
We have a quorum. The next item is questions, comments, and announcements of a general nature. Is anyone in the audience that wants to address the city council at this point? I don't think so, but just in case. All righty, we'll move on. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of October 17th city council meeting. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Kenny, seconded by Alderman Shower. Any additions or deletions for the minutes? The roll, please.
Kenny,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Marquez,
Aye.
Belkey,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Clistic,
Abstain.
McIver,
Abstain.
5 ayes and 2 abstentions.
The minutes have been approved, and now we have the minutes of the goal-setting session of October 26th. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Marquez, seconded by Alderman Shower. Any additions or deletions for that? We did note that the date at the top of the goal-setting session minutes was incorrect. The date, the actual date of the goal-setting session was October 26th. The roll, please.
Marquez,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
McIver,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Clistic,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Belkey,
Aye.
7 ayes.
The goal-setting session minutes are approved. The next item is receiving of communications. Do any of the aldermen have communications to share? Alderman Shower?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I got a phone call from Anna Harry at 1309 Greenbrier Lane, and she wanted to thank the City Council for funding the Bailey Light. She's very appreciative, and she just wanted to say thank you.
Alderman Marquez?
As I mentioned in the work session, I received a number of emails and Facebook postings regarding the North Frontage Road. As all of you know, that project got delayed by IDOT. The problem that I noticed with a lot of people is they felt it was a city project and not an Illinois Department of Transportation project. So I made note of that, and I communicated with a number of people it was an IDOT issue, and that if it had been a city of Darien, they wouldn't have been having those same problems. But Mr. Gombeck jumped on it, and I guess we're looking for it to be completed by the end of November.
Correct.
What held it up, Dan?
According to IDOT, the asphalt strip from between Cass Avenue and Oldfield Road, they referred to it as a test strip. And apparently the test strip did not meet the Illinois Department of Transportation requirements. I'm not sure what those requirements or criteria were, but basically they had to tear that back up again, and that's when they redid it with another mix.
Well, I'll tell you, that, there was some patching done, but there was some potholes that they completely missed.
Correct. There was one lane, the northern lane, southern lane was completed with the leveling binder, but they never touched the north end, and obviously it was lower than after they came in and milled it, the road was lower than the shoulder, which obviously caused puddling of water, and residents or patrons weren't able to see the condition of the road until the tires.
They hit the pothole.
Yeah.
Who was the contractor on that job?
K5 was the general.
Wow. They're usually really good.
Yeah, actually, there was 2 parts to the contract. I know K5 was the general, then there was different subs. I can't recall who the second sub was for the second phase of it, and that's the phase we're referring to right now. It was a different asphalt vendor.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Alderman Belke? Belke?
Yes. I received a communication from a resident at 6718 Tennessee, and this has to do with standing water down the block, but particularly in front of the houses of 6714 and 6718. This is a water problem where the resident hasn't been able to mow his grass all year in the front, and he submitted some pictures. We had a discussion that his street, or his ditching, his street for the ditching project is up for the ditch on 2017, and it's going to be on the budget, as we all see, as a line item, and then, whether the council keeps it there or removes it is, something that I communicated to him. But he wanted me to share these pictures with the council and to keep that in mind for when the budget season comes. We can pull these back up. But I wanted to give them to the clerk and then route them to the alderman.
Okay.
Also, there's another communication that's been actually ongoing, and this is for a resident at 110 Janet, and it has to do with a project that began with the Sunrise ditching project, and this resident was affected as far as a lot of the water was coming through his side of his yard, and the city had to redo some of the culverting and that area. So it affected this resident's home more than anybody's, I think. And it affected his driveway and the front area that he had landscaped to match the back of his, towards the back of his house with landscaping. So in any event, it's just been an ongoing communication where the final product isn't to his liking or his acceptance of how he thought it should look at the end of the day after the project. So again, multiple communications are out there. The latest is that he wants to meet with the mayor and myself in person. He's very insistent, that we do it in person so we can talk and point, to
Well, I think what we in the communications at this point is that he needs to make a presentation to the city council if he wants us to go out, because Dan has done a thorough job of communicating options, and each one of them is well over $5,000. And so I think it's if he wants us to, you and I can't make that decision. This needs to be presented to the city council.
Right, so that was one of the things. It's a little heads up too to the council that he probably will be presenting his case in front of us to see what the city can do. His opinion is that the city needs to take responsibility for a project that wasn't quite up to anybody's standards in his opinion. So I've seen the work. I know the mayor has driven by. I know that Dan has been out there multiple times. So we tried to do some communication to resolve the issue, but it sounds like it needs to go to the council to bring you all aware of it.
Yeah, and the work that he's objecting to actually is in our right of way.
Correct.
It's we did all the culverts along Janet as part of the Sunrise drainage issue. So the wall, the bricks that we put into our area of that drainage ditch project, he doesn't like the color of it.
Right.
They don't match what the color of the bricks that he has on his property. So that's why I'll be glad to go out and meet with him, but that's exactly what I will tell him, that he needs to present to us, because we cannot, you and I cannot make that decision to approve something that's over $5,000 in expenses.
And again, Mayor, if I may expound on it on a moment, originally what this resident had was a 36-inch culvert metal pipe that ran through his driveway, and the route that it took, and the wall that was in place was basically cut around this pipe, majority of it. After we had removed this pipe, we rerouted the pipe because it just didn't make sense to where it was going. The end result was that he wanted to have this retaining wall put back in place. The retaining wall is probably a product that's 20 years old. We've identified what the product is. The product is no longer made, along with the coloring of it. Again, I'm not sure when the last time that may have been power washed. but we could not get any type of block even close to it. I actually researched it and thought we found a source in Maine. Again, it was basically still, by the time we got done transporting it, it wasn't the exact color match. They did send us a sample, and again, the cost would have been around $7,000 just to try to remanufacture what is not going to match anyway. So there's a lot of emails that went back and forth, and Mayor, if you'd like me to, I could send the rest of the city council those emails if they want to.
That wouldn't hurt. We should also, have you got pictures of it too?
Yes.
Okay, let's distribute those too.
Yeah.
And
So
there's
in
no
addition-
question.
Go ahead.
And I'm sorry, there's no questions asked. It's a night and day difference on the color.
And actually, it's more than the color, it's the surfacing and the size.
And the size is what was there. The size is a match to the existing size. It's some of the shape and contours that are now also an issue.
Is this just one resident that has this concern, or is it a
Yes,
few residents?
no, it's
that-
one
just
resident.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, all right, so then Tina, you and I will have to come together and find a date to go to meet with them. And of course, it's going to be in the dark probably, or a Saturday, because by the time I get back in the neighborhood from work, it's 5 o'clock and it's dark already,
Right,
so.
so maybe a weekend.
Yeah, we'll have to do it a weekend. Okay, other communications? Okay, let's move on to the mayor's report, and there's lots on the mayor's report tonight. The first is a proclamation on a deadly disease, a deadly cancer that we have today. And I'd like to read that proclamation. Whereas November 17th, World Pancreatic Cancer Day in the city of Darien, and whereas in 2016, an estimated 53,070 people will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in the United States, and 41,780 will die from the disease. And whereas pancreatic cancer surpassed breast cancer this year to become the third leading cause of cancer deaths in the United States, and is projected to become the second by 2020. And whereas pancreatic cancer is the only major cancer with a 5-year relative survival rate in the single digits of just 8%. And whereas symptoms of pancreatic cancer present themselves, it is generally in later when it presents itself, it is generally in later states, and 71% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first year of their diagnosis. And whereas approximately 1,640 deaths will occur in Illinois in 2016, and whereas pancreatic cancer is the 7th most common cause of cancer-related death in men and women across the world, and whereas there will be an estimated 418,451 new pancreatic cancer cases diagnosed globally in 2016, and whereas the good health and well-being of the residents of Darien are enhanced as a direct result of increased awareness about pancreatic cancer and research into early detection, causes, and effective treatments. Therefore, it be declared that, therefore, doesn't follow very well. Now, therefore, I, Kathleen Mosley Weaver, Mayor of the City of Darien, hereby proclaim November 17th as World Pancreatic Cancer Day. And that, is there anyone in the audience to accept that? Do we know who requested that? We'll get that to them, okay. Okay. Okay, and that's, the next item under the mayor's report is a motion to consider the reappointment of the members of the Holiday Home Decorating Committee. I can see 2 of the members here this evening, Elizabeth Hayes and Jerry Legansky and Jim Kaiser. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Marquez, seconded by Alderman Belzak. Discussion? The roll, please.
Marquez.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
McIver.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, the commit, do they have to fill out a card, right?
They have to be sworn in again.
Okay, you have to be sworn in? Come up and be sworn at. Or swore to. Hi, Jerry. Please
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
Holiday Home Decorating Committee
Holiday Home Decorating Committee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Okay. And we give you your cards. You've already signed, and it's just a reappointment.
Thank you for doing it again. Thank you
Thank you.
for serving again. Thanks, Elizabeth. Thank you. Do we know if Jim was a contact?
Obviously, we knew he wasn't going to be here because there were only your 2 cards.
Okay,
Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
Oh, no.
okay,
Thank
so
you.
he'll have to be sworn in at a later date. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We can't wait. You know, it's hard to believe already we have to do this again, you know?
Almost scary.
Holy cow. My mom always said that. It goes by fast as you get older.
Goes faster.
Goes faster. All right, we're going to do the Citizen of the Year Committee in 2 separate motions because we have a reappointment, and then we are going to be appointing 2 new members. So the next item is a motion to approve the reappointment of the members Bonnie Kucera and Carol Mallers on the Citizen of the Year Committee. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman MacGyver, seconded by Alderman Kenny. Discussion? The roll, please.
MacGyver.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Marquez.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Now, is the language very different for the reappointment, or can we just,
No, we
we'll just
could
do,
swear 'em
we'll
all in
we'll
at the
do
same-
all at the same time? Okay.
Right.
We'll do the next motion then for the new members. I'd like to consider a motion to approve the appointment of Peggy Radakovich and Merle Zalazar to the Citizen of the Year Committee. Alderman Marquez, seconded by Alderman Shower. Discussion? The roll, please.
Marquez.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
MacGyver.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
7 ayes.
The motion has been approved. Would all 4 of you please come up so we can swear you in?
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Citizen of the Year Committee according to the best of my ability. Okay, the 2 new people, I need you to sign a card. So that would be Peggy and Merrill. And
Yeah,
here's,
you'll get other pen.
um,
Thank you all for being willing to serve. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Bonnie, do you want to say a few words?
I'll try.
I met with you, I think it was back in May, and discussed some of the challenges that the committee faced in either educating or our community about this wonderful award that the city bestows upon a person, and some of the ideas that we had coming from it. I will, as soon as this is over with, share a letter that I have already edited and authored with Administrator Vanna and Mayor Weaver. It'll be more of a marketing letter that I will send out to the organizations and the churches and so forth that we eventually invite to the event, but perhaps will also create some enthusiasm for people to look within the organizations themselves for people who are deserving of this award. And again, we look to people who are length of service, diversity, and the impact that they have on the city of Darien and surrounding communities in their activities. So we will be doing that, and we'll be getting a letter out by, the 1st of November to all these all of these organizations. And hopefully that will create some interest, whether, lack of knowledge, lack of education, whatever, but we'll try to work something that we have better participation in this proclamation of this award.
Okay, thanks, Bonnie. Thank you.
Yes. Do you want to give the dates?
Yes, I can add some things to that. So the application is available on the city's website, and what you would do is you would go to Government Committee, and then it would be the Citizen of the Year under that, and that will directly go confidentially. There's a security code, and then you submit, and then that would go right to Bonnie, the chair.
I believe Administrator Bana said he was going to put it on the front
We
of the
may
website.
move that.
Yes.
So as soon as we get that moved,
Right.
and we'll let people know where it is, so it's more visible. But the dates would be, the deadline for the application is January 3rd. The announcement for the winner will be January 16th. The coffee and cake is scheduled for February 21st, and that's usually after the council meeting that is scheduled for that day. And then the dinner dance is scheduled for March 4th, and I believe that'll be back at the Alpine.
Alpine, right,
Banquets.
correct. And it's still $30, full open bar and full dinner with the DJ and so forth.
Okay. Alderman McIver?
Do we still put up the banner outside the building?
I
here?
believe we do.
Well, it actually depends on the awardee. We've
Oh,
had.
no, for soliciting the applications.
Do we have a
We don't have a
banner that
banner
does
for
that?
that.
We
No.
don't.
we don't
I thought
have a
we used
banner.
to have something that said, citizen.
I
of the
think
year.
it was when we identified the individual, then we put
Right.
something up. Yeah, it
Last
wasn't
year,
before.
Marion didn't want it. The year before, Ron Kiefer agreed to it. Kathy Marquez didn't care for it. It really depends on the awardee.
Well, I'm
you
just
know.
thinking that maybe we should put some, either like by the clock tower or, just to
Nominate.
advertise.
Not a bad idea.
Since we don't have
Nominations are out there.
we don't have a electronic sign for the city, it might be.
Yeah, we
good
talked
to-
We
about,
can put it, I mean, if we contact the high school, they've put some of our information on in the past too, we can also do that.
Right, right.
If you'd like, we haven't talked about it.
But I think it might be nice, to, because you've got you've got the clock tower corner now, so take advantage of it
Aye.
for.
Would we be able to reach out to the other institutions that have got electronic signs this year, Chuck's and Our Lady of Peace, to put on there? Because they're on Cass and Plainfield.
We can ask them,
Yeah.
sure.
I think might be a good idea to find, to see if we can't get a banner. Do we have someone we can rely on? to
Yeah, I
make post it?
have the vendor that we've used. It's Bolingbrook Signs. It's just up.
I think it
Fountain
would be
Road.
wise for us to get a sign up on the clock tower property.
Okay.
Okay,
And we'll move that announcement onto our front page of the website under news and announcements, so it'll be
Okay.
right up in front.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
thanks, Bonnie. Thank you very much. And you do not have to stick around for our meeting if you, just to, okay,
Persevering
thanks,
clause.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move to the city clerk's report.
I have one announcement. Meet and greet with the mayor will take place on Monday, November the 21st at 6 p.m. here at City Hall in the upstairs conference room.
City administrators report?
No report, Mayor, thank you.
Okay. Department head information questions. Do either, any of the department heads going to make a presentation this evening?
Not this evening, Madam Mayor.
Okay, questions for them, for our department heads. Alderman Clistic?
Just a quick comment. There is a light out on one of the new lamps heading east on 75th towards Willowbrook. So
The
one
new
of the lower
lamps?
ones. Correct.
Whoa,
East on 75th from where, on Clarendon Hills Road?
Cass from Cass heading towards Willowbrook. Heading.
There's one
east.
that's out there waiting for one of them to come back from the testing facility. So that may be the one.
Okay.
why would it be at a testing facility? To see why it failed?
No, Illinois Department of Transportation, based on the grant, they had to take a sample of these bulbs, lights. So whatever it is, there's no sampling criteria for this LED.
Oh,
So it
that was
has-
going to hold it up in the first place, so now we're doing it
Correct.
backwards.
Correct, it's still there.
Oh.
So what, how, why, I really couldn't even begin to tell you at this point. But it's supposed to be on within the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Dan, there's one on Plainfield Road as you approach Wendy's, as you approach Route 83, and it's down, it's hanging from the fixture.
Is that Willowbrook?
That is
North.
Willowbrook,
That
yes.
Oh, no.
The
By the
corridor
way-
of lights on Plainfield Road,
By
in-
as you approach Wendy's.
Yes.
On Route 83.
yes,
It's right across the street from our trees and our.
correct. That was initiated under the Village of Willowbrook.
Oh, okay. So they're taking care of that one.
It's either the Village of Willowbrook or and in conjunction with DuPage County.
So we better let them know.
All right, yeah, we'll take a look at that.
Is that an intergovernmental agreement? Because it seems like that's our property, yes? No?
It is not our property, no. It's DuPage County's right of way. It was based on, Illinois Department of Transportation, DuPage County, and Willowbrook throughout that corridor, the corridor right there.
Okay.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions for
One-
Alderman Clistic?
One more quick question for Dan. On 79th Street and Farmingdale, you have a plot of land there that's sort of like a forest.
79th and Farmingdale?
79th and Farmingdale. At the intersection there, you have sort of the water retention pond. Is that our land in back with those trees, or is that the developers? Because there's some questions with regards to some ash borer trees that were dying.
79th and
doors.
Farmingdale?
South of 79th Street?
So it'd be just north and just west of, where the water retention pond is, where we just
Oh,
put it
those are
in?
all
That
big,
whole-
the Farmingdale condos.
Correct.
Yeah.
It all
Correct.
depends where you're at exactly. Part of it is the Farmingdale condos. There's a portion that the city is responsible for.
Okay.
And it's probably half a block area.
Okay.
That we would be responsible for.
In terms of drainage, Dan, or in terms of the trees too? you
The
think?
trees too.
The trees, okay.
Well, we did take some trees down several years ago.
These are just recent ash trees that have died, so some residents that had some questions when I was canvassing last
If you
week.
want to
so.
forward it, the contact, and then we'll
Okay,
reach
I can
out
do
to
that.
them to make sure we have the proper ones identified.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the department heads? Greg, did you want to give us an update on the Hinsdale South issue? I think, is that old news, or what's happening with that?
Heard everything that has been talked about that location.
Pardon me?
We've heard everything from
Okay.
about that.
Except that the individual had a hearing, correct, and now he was released.
location.
But he's not allowed to go back to school, that's what I heard.
I don't know that he's been released. I'd have to look.
I'm not sure. I think there was a question about his release, yeah. I think he might still be in.
I believe he's still in because the house was red flagged, so he's not out. He has no place to go.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's move on to treasurer's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This evening, I'm requesting council's approval of warrant number 161713 in the amount of $222,029.60 from the listed funds. Payroll for the period ended October 13th in the amount of $234,067.91 for a total to be approved of $456,097.51.
Do we have a motion to approve? Alderman Belzak, seconded by Alderman Belke. Any questions? We did answer some questions on some of the items on the report. The roll, please.
Belzak.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
McIver.
Aye.
Marquez.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
7 ayes.
The warrant has been approved. Treasurer Corn wants to give a review of the police pension
Yeah,
investments.
The Police Pension Board met on October 27th, just to update for the quarterly performance based on the investment managers. Each investment manager has about $12.5 million out of the total $25 million in the fund. It was a pretty good quarter. One investment manager earned just under 3%. The other one just right around 2%. Year-to-date performance on the one is 6.46%. And the other fiscal year to date is 5.37%, which our bogey, our goal is to try to earn 7%, and that if we can earn 7%, it won't affect us in terms of our contribution, in terms of rate. Anything over that would help our future funding. But it was a pretty good quarter, but then October came and didn't do too well, but we're well ahead of last year. As you may recall, last year we were basically flat, break even with no return, so we seem to be doing much better in the current fiscal year.
It's a fiscal year, it's not a calendar year.
It's the same
Fi-
as our
fiscal,
April
okay.
30th, right?
All right, I forgot that. Okay. All righty. Standing committee reports. Alderman McIver.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Our next Police Committee meeting is scheduled for November 21st at 6 PM in the Police Department Training Room across the parking lot, pending agenda items.
Okay. Alderman Marquez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The next Municipal Services Committee meeting will take place on Monday, November 28th, 2016 at 6:30 here in the council chambers.
And Alderman Shower.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Tonight's admin finance meeting was canceled due to lack of agenda items, and our next admin finance meeting will be held on Monday, December 5th at 6 PM in our upstairs meeting room.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on to questions, comments, agenda-related. Do any of the aldermen have questions agenda-related? And there is no audience, so we'll move on to old business, and there being no old business, I'll move right to the consent agenda. We have 4 items on the consent agenda this evening. The first is a motion to grant a waiver of the raffle license bond requirement for the Darien Historical Society. They're going to be having their turkey raffle. That's November 18th, isn't it? Yeah, okay. The next item is a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the approval to enter into an engineering agreement with Christopher Burke Engineering for pavement corings for the proposed 2017 street maintenance program in an amount not to exceed $10,500. The next item is a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the approval to enter an engineering agreement with Christopher Burke again for the 2017 street maintenance program in an amount not to exceed $32,748. And the final motion is to approve an ordinance accepting a plat of easement for 2224 Shannon Court. Do I have a motion to approve these items? Alderman Marquez, seconded by Alderman Belke. The roll, please.
Marquez.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Listic.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
McIver.
Aye.
7 ayes.
All items have been approved. Next item under new business is a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept a proposal from Christopher Burke Engineering in an amount not to exceed $23,500 for surveying, engineering, and water modeling study of the open ditch and storm water conveyance system for Sawmill Creek, the east and west leg. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Belzak, seconded by Alderman Belke. Discussion? Alderman Belke?
Dan, would you mind doing a quick summary
Sure.
for how this came about and what it pertains to?
Right, this was an item that was discussed at the recent budget goal session, the goal session. In respect to that, this item was a concern really at 7013 Clarendon Hills Road. The problem there is that stormwater inundates that intersection. It's part of a Sawmill Creek branch water flow. With that said, the issue is a safety concern, particularly when we have inundating rains or severe rain events, whether it's once a year or 5 times a year, in which case the road fronting 7013 particularly and that adjacent area is temporarily flooded up to 1.5 feet of water. So the goal of it is to be able to determine while we know where the water is coming from, it's from the west, what opportunities are there to capture this water, whether it's through some type of detention facility or a retention facility, and to be able to provide, we'll call it safe travels in a better condition. So that's what this study will be able to do, is determine where, how, and when.
And Dan, isn't Clarendon Hills, is it a 2017 ditch project anyway? And that's why we thought we would expand the project since we're going in anyway?
And there's a couple of, there's several factors. Number one is there's currently a sidewalk issue. There's missing links of sidewalks. A crosswalk also came up with this in conjunction to these types of projects. The first item that needs to be addressed is the ditch project. The ditch project was a goal for 2017 at this point. We're currently taking a look at it, maybe delayed till 2018, depending on the other projects that are probably been slated for this year. So we're just looking at how many are going to be there, but we may put it on as an alternate at the same time if along with some others. But in conjunction with that, we're also looking at the road, which was scheduled for 2018, so that may be pushed back. But at the same time, we're in the process of applying for a grant here, which will be opening up shortly for the, at least the repaving of it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
Correct.
Okay. All right, the roll, please.
Belzak,
Aye.
Belkey,
Aye.
Clistic,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Marquez,
Aye.
McIver,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
7 ayes.
The motion has been approved. We can move to questions, comments, and announcements of a general nature. Do any of the aldermen have announcements to make? All righty, then, I'd like a motion to adjourn. Alderman McIver, second by Alderman Belkey. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
So,
No, I have to.
Oh,
Turning the microphones
no,
off.
just on your question about the alderman